Hi, I'm Alex Lightman, and I'm the CEO of Keymoji. This is the Lightman Report, and this will be our second episode that's on DeFi, Decentralized Finance. So we'll go to the slides now. And this is New Perspectives of DeFi, Part 2. So when Satoshi Nakamoto on Halloween published the 2008 published a white paper, he wanted to let people know that there was a new solution to banking and allowing people to send money directly to each other and without any intermediaries. DeFi banking is one of the most important things we can do because the core of any capitalist society is borrowing and lending money for things and doing it preferably as widely as possible and to as many people as possible with as low interest rate as possible. Basically having efficient banking is critical, and we have about 2 billion people who still don't have bank accounts. And so what are they going to do? Put the money in their pockets, their mattress. If they're in Kenya, they can use M-Pesa, but not everybody has a system like M-Pesa. You have to have a whole lot of other people using it as well. So DeFi banking is banking done via the blockchain. It can resolve some of the issues that I just brought up. And privacy comes from the security of the blockchain's distributed ledger, which includes something that's out of the control of people who want to just change the records and cover up their crimes. Since the blockchain can handle everything, including peer-to-peer transactions, there isn't a need for intermediaries with the exception of needing to do compliance. Compliance is a big part of banking, and part of the reason that banks don't really want to bank the poor is that on average, at least in the United States, it costs about $200 per customer per year just to handle the paperwork and the compliance. So if you add up all the costs of the lawyers, lawsuits, dealing with government regulations, that comes to about $200 per customer. So the banks have to earn more than that on each customer that they have just to start making a profit. If they don't make $200, they don't even begin to break even. So KYC and AML are two things that are required by government to keep banking officials, banking executives out of jail. KYC is know your customer, and DeFi and blockchain are helping there too. A consortium of 6 banks and licensing authorities in the United Arab Emirates, which has about 10% of the world's oil, formed in February to share verified data about customers using blockchain. The 6 banks in the consortium include Emirates NBD, Emirates Islamic Bank, the Sharia-compliant subsidiaries of Emirates NBD, HSBC, Hong Kong Shanghai Bank, National Bank of Ras Al Khaimah, Abu Dhabi Commercial Bank, and the Commercial Bank of Dubai. And they held about 44% of all the banking assets in UAE, according to Moody's last year. We have the category of DeFi derivatives. A derivative is a financial contract between 2 or more parties that derives its value from the performance of an underlying entity. This entity can be an asset, it can be an interest rate, an index, bonds, commodities, and it's often just called underlying. Derivatives in decentralized finance offer a lot of flexibility across multiple assets and platforms. Smart contracts can issue tokenized derivative contracts, which are executed permissionless and automatically if you have those smart contracts set up. And that's one of the reasons for setting up Ethereum in the first place. If you saw the previous episode, I was talking about all the different contracts. Over $1 billion is now locked up in Ethereum for these kind of contracts for DeFi. Pseudonymity. Decentralized financial applications should be able to leverage Web 3.0 standards for signing of transactions and authentication. And they can drastically reduce the need for anti-money laundering and KYC and making financial tools inclusive to a broader audience. So the idea is you give more tools to more people so that in an ideal situation, you've got about 6 billion smartphones. So what you want is anyone with a smartphone able to buy, sell, borrow, loan, swap, do derivatives with anybody else. Crypto and real-world assets. So Tim Draper is investing in DeFi Money Markets, DAO, Digital Autonomous Organization, according to DMM Foundation's official announcements. The DMM protocol is a bridge between Ethereum digital assets on the one side and real-world assets. The DMM protocol is an interface that lets anyone earn 6.25% backed by real-world assets by visiting the blockchain-backed DeFi Money Market app. Now, considering that regular bank deposits in many countries are paying negative interest rates. And as we discussed, we recently had the historical first of a negative cost of a barrel of oil according to a future contract. So 6.25 is a lot of money by current standards of fiat. So we also have DeFi prediction markets. We mentioned them in our last episode. Prediction markets are created for the benefit of researchers, speculators, and traders looking to bet on future events. Generally, their main purpose is for market participants to take advantage of the outcome of events. The predictions can range from exchange averages to quarterly sales reports for a specific company to elections or even commodity prices. And we can have, for instance, 4 future scenarios. Scenario A, more efficient and interoperable network. Scenario B, geopolitical wars of unicorn coins. Scenario C, emergence of financial autonomous agents. Scenario D, market of DeFi robo-advisors. And within this more efficient interoperable networks, you can have the ideology of crypto anarchism. Blockchain should replace institutions. Hot technologies include decentralized oracles, Lightning, interoperable ledgers, etc. The winners and the losers are public protocols are the winners, and banks and fintech are the losers. The growth mode is efficiency and interoperability. And the use cases are alternative trust system, bypass local bans, empower oppressed creativity. Scenario B, geopolitical wars of unicorn coins. Ideology is pure capitalism, the privatization of monetary system. The hot technologies are stable coins and federated networks. The winners are unicorns, things that have a valuation over a billion US dollars. Fiat currencies, growth mode. Fiat currencies, of course, are the losers in this scenario, and there's a whole long list of dead fiat currencies. So fiat currencies always go to zero at some point. Growth mode, legal compliance, use cases, global inefficiencies, and this, of course, includes Libra. And then emergence, scenario C is emergence of financial autonomous agents. The ideology is techno-futurisms. The idea, this is Google's idea of AI, and technology can do better than humans, and anything a technology or an AI can do better than a human, it should. The hot technologies are federative learning and ensemble learning, machine learning, and all of its flavors. And the winners include decentralized AI apps, and the losers are existing institutions with a lot of employees, a lot of bricks and mortar at a time when things can go on networks. The growth mode is creative convergence. The use cases are alternative trust system and basically TBC. We're gonna see how that turns out. Scenario D is market for DeFi robo-advisors. The ideology is humanism. Technology should empower humans. This is more the Elon Musk version of things with Neuralace. Hot technologies include also federative learning and ensemble learning. The winners are supportive AI apps that help people, and the losers are institutions. The growth mode is AI and machine learning adoption, and the use cases are supporting people creatively. Singularity.net and Numerai are 2 of the exemplars of this. So what we want to make this whole thing work is transparent, to have everything be transparent and trustless. And you have these different layers. The layer 0, as based on Ethereum. Layer 1 is the DAI savings rate and stability fee. Layer 2, the borrow lend rates. Layer 3 is the Ethereum locked in DeFi. Layer 4 is the liquidity. So you have these different layers, as you see here, including the application layer and the user aggregation layer. The current custodian of an asset in a DeFi project should always be verifiable on the blockchain, and its custody should only involve smart contracts and wallets. There should not be large, centralized, exchange-owned wallets in a DeFi product. In the presence of a smart contract, the code for the same should be open-sourced. Everything should be permissionless, unlike open finance. Decentralized finance should allow anyone to create applications without the need for applications being approved by large central banking authorities. There shouldn't be censorship. There shouldn't be the censorship and gamesmanship of the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Keeping in mind, you could define a decentralized financial application as a censorship-resistant, transparent tool that enables the transfer, custody, and exchange of tokenized assets that may be fungible or non-fungible in a permissionless environment with almost no requirements for identity verification. Decentralized finance varies from open finance in the conventional sense because much of the stack in open finance relies heavily on traditional banking entities that require strong AML, anti-money laundering, and KYC, know your customer requirements, and fall largely under the regulatory purview of government bodies. So here are some of the trends in DeFi as of the time that this was made in April 20th, 2020. Eric Voorhees bought Portis, a 2-year-old cryptocurrency wallet that's integrated into more than 70 DeFi applications. Bitcoin-backed loans became popular. Atomic Loans, a startup focused on developing peer-to-peer Bitcoin-backed loans, announced it's raised $2.45 million in seed funding, led by Initialized Capital. And 40,000 people use DeFi applications monthly as of January 2020, according to Binance Research. Eric Voorhees has said the DeFi stuff, I think, is the most interesting because of how quickly it's moving, of how many tiny startups are emerging every day, and how each of them work together. Now, part of the reason they work together is because of this extraordinary characteristic of DeFi in that it's built on a mountain of open source software. So if you add up all of the cost that's been paid to all of the developers or all the volunteered hours, it comes to tens of billions of dollars. And think about all the companies that have had to pay for all of their apps that are out of date. Imagine being able to just get the latest and greatest software that a lot of other people are doing. So there's a level of interoperability and having it already done. And finally, we have the latest news and trends too. Justin Sun announced the launch of JED, now Just. The project is the MakerDAO DeFi version of Tron. Sun noted that the Tron stablecoin will be backed by the United States dollar, and the development of Just is a milestone in supporting Tron's DeFi ecosystem. Coinbase wallet users can now lend out their crypto and earn interest on decentralized finance through Coinbase wallet. So if you have stuff on Coinbase, start earning money on it. Hopefully, if you got one thing out of this and you can earn a little bit of money, that this could be useful to you. And thousands of Coinbase wallet users have already deposited millions of dollars into DeFi apps like Compound and DYDX, earning interest rates up to 6% APR. And the makers of Keep Protocol raised $7.7 million to bring trustless Bitcoin to DeFi. So here's our last slide for this one, just to give you a feel of all the companies in the field. With Decentralized Finance, we have our shot of making basically a whole new world of financial applications that can fulfill the big vision that Satoshi Nakamoto spelled out in the first Bitcoin white paper, Halloween 2008. And it came at a time when banks were on the brink of yet another bailout. Decentralized finance builds upon this vision of giving individuals dignity, sovereignty, and transparency about how their hard-earned assets are stored and invested. This isn't the anti-banking establishment, it's the pro-consumer choice. And in building it, you're not derailing the power of government or banks, but empowering the common man, common person, to have an alternative in an ecosystem where there hasn't been that kind of option for centuries. So this is Alex Lightman for the Lightman Report, and I'll see you soon.